Hello, my name is Moana, and I'm from Hawaii. Please like and subscribe. Growing up, what I hated most was when my parents argued and yelled at each other. And it happened a lot. But there were some moments when we'd all laugh together. Like when I turned 3, Dad came home with the biggest unicorn doll for me, and Mom baked my favorite vanilla cake. It was the happiest day of my life.
Moana, you're the best thing that's ever happened. When you were born, our world changed.
Yes, darling. You mean everything to us.
Mom worked as a secretary at a big insurance company, and Dad worked at a local store. So we lived a pretty average life. But then one day, when I was 4, Mom came home driving her boss's expensive car and told Dad that she was leaving him. Please don't go, Mom. I love you.
Oh, my baby. Tell you what, you will visit me at my new house every weekend.
I watched Mom pack her bags and drive away. And Dad was so sad. He told me that he and Mom were now separated. Months later, he took me to visit her at her new fancy house, and she was sitting with her boss, carrying a new baby.
Moana, I'd like you to meet your baby sister, Luisa.
Luisa was the luckiest little baby because her dad bought her all the toys in the world. I liked going to their mansion, and Mom would be so happy every time I visited. But soon, Luisa started crying so hard for Mom's attention that it became difficult for us to spend any time together. Once, when I was 5 and Luisa was a toddler, Mom took us to the zoo and bought us both candy. But Luisa threw hers into the raccoon cage, and then she started crying hysterically for more. She even started pulling Mom's hair, and I gave her my candy so she'd calm down and give Mom a break.
Oh, Moana, thank you so much. You've always been such an understanding child. I hope your sister grows up to be just like you.
Thanks, Mom. I just want you to be happy. Since Mom had left, Dad always tried to hide his sadness and make me laugh with his jokes and dramatic bedtime stories. And I tried my best to always make him proud and happy, too. Once, in 2nd grade, Dad came to my school for a parent-teacher meeting, and my teacher, Sina, told him all sorts of nice things about me since I was the top student in her class.
Wow, I'm so proud of you, darling.
You should be. Moana is a very special little girl.
Right after the meeting, Dad invited Sina to come with us. For pizza. He looked really happy around her. And soon after, he started seeing her more often. And I didn't mind at all because she was very nice to me. Once, in 4th grade, we went to the skate park together, and Sina showed me how to skateboard.
Okay, I'm not letting go of your hand until you're strong on your feet.
I think I can skateboard on my own. Look! I let go of her grip and jumped up, feeling as if I were flying. And then suddenly my leg twisted and I fell down hard. I felt dizzy, and I saw Sina running towards me as I blacked out. I was rushed to the hospital, and my leg was put through so many scans and then bandaged up. Sina couldn't stop crying.
This is all my fault. I'm so sorry, Moana.
No, please don't blame yourself. I wanted to do that on my own. Dad hugged Sina to make her feel better, and just then, Mom barged in with Luisa.
How could you let this happen?
She started yelling at Dad, and they both got into a big argument, forgetting all about me. Guys, stop! Everyone looked at me, and then Luisa came closer to my bed, looking angry.
I had a big concert today. I was the lead. But now I'm here because Mom was worried about you. You ruined my concert.
Luisa, you can't speak to your sister like that. She just got injured.
Luisa pulled an ugly face at me, and just then, the doctor walked in with some bad news. He told my parents that my leg would never be normal again. I walked with a limp, and at school I couldn't participate in any sports. But I still remained the top student in the class, and everyone was so nice to me, since I'd never had trouble making friends. And I always helped them with their homework. One day when I was in 7th grade, Sina watched how I helped some kids understand a math equation, and she was so impressed.
Moana, you would make a really good teacher one day.
Yes, I would love to be a teacher one day, just like you, Sina. Sina really cared about me, and when I was in 8th grade, Dad told me that he wanted to marry her. I was so happy for them. Dad even invited Mom and her family. This was his way of finally making peace. Just before the event started, I found Luisa standing and glaring at the big wedding cake. What are you doing here alone?
Whatever I want. This cake looks so delicious.
Yes, it is, but don't stand too close. We don't want any accidents. She smirked at me, and then suddenly, she stuck her finger out and scooped the frosting off the cake. Hey, you can't do that. but she just laughed and reached for the cake again. I ran forward to pull her away as she tried to push me off. We both started wrestling and crashed straight into the cake. Just then, Mom and Dad appeared, looking speechless.
What have you girls done?
It wasn't me, Dad. Honest. Mom surprised me when she yelled at Luisa.
I'm so tired of your behavior, Luisa. Your father has spoiled you so much that everywhere you go, you ruin things. Moana was such a good child compared to you.
Well, maybe I should tell Dad to send you back to your poor family.
Both Dad and I were so shocked at the way Luisa spoke to Mom. And after the wedding, when I visited Mom again, I noticed that Luisa was awful to Mom all the time and bossed her around because her dad gave her the power to do so.
Mom, my Prada jacket still has a stain. Get it cleaned right now. I need it for school.
Okay, dear.
Why are you so mean to Mom?
Because she never does anything right. And if she doesn't listen, my dad will kick her out.
She's our mom. Don't you love her?
Well, she loves you more. So I guess I love my dad more.
When I tried to talk to Mom about what was going on in her life, she told me not to worry and said she could handle it. There wasn't much I could do to help her. One day in 10th grade, I was studying in the school library when a boy came out and sat on the table opposite to me. I knew exactly who he was. Maui! He was one of the hot, popular guys at school and was reading one of my all-time favorite books. My eyes kept wandering to him now and then, and I tried not to make it too obvious, but he was just so gorgeous. And while I sat zoned out in my fantasy, he suddenly started waving in my face.
Hey, are you okay?
Oh, I'm sorry. I wasn't staring. I was actually,
It's okay. I'm used to it. That's why I sometimes come in here to hide away from the girls coming after me. My parents wanted me to be a model because of all the attention I get.
Yes, you're very good looking. Modeling would suit you.
I actually like books and reading. I don't like being in the spotlight.
I was so surprised because I always saw him surrounded by girls. I was never after him because he was way out of my league. But after meeting him in the library, we actually became good friends because we had so much in common. One day, he asked if I'd like to see the latest Disney movie with him, and I was so excited that another kid in school liked that kind of stuff. We even dressed up like the characters and had the time of our lives. I'm so happy to finally have a Moana partner.
Me too. You're such a cool person to hang out with.
He looked deep into my eyes, and then he leaned over and kissed me. I was so shocked because it all felt like a dream. And then I looked down at my leg and started doubting myself and wondering if any of this was real.
Hey, what's wrong?
Maui, you're like the hottest guy on this planet, and there's so many pretty girls without any issues like mine. So why me?
There's nothing wrong with you, Moana. You're perfect.
Maui liked me just as I was, and I learned to love myself with my brokenness. Life at school felt great, until one day, Mom called me with some surprising news.
Honey, Luisa will be joining your school. She got expelled from her fancy private school because she was bullying kids.
But Mom, she won't fit in at my school.
No other school will accept her. Please look out for her and show her around. Maybe she can learn something from you.
The next day, Luisa walked into my school wearing a pink fluffy coat and black shades. Just as she approached me, a group of girls snuck up behind her and spray-painted her coat.
What is wrong with you fools? This is Dolce & Gabbana. Oh my gosh, you ruined it.
The girls went ballistic and lifted her off her feet.
What did you call us?
Put me down.
When I told the girls that she was my sister, they let her go.
What is wrong with the people in your school?
This is not one of your fancy schools, and all the newbies get spray-painted. It's tradition.
That's why I hated the idea of a public school. Poor people have no class.
She was such a snob. While I was showing Luisa around, we bumped into Maui, and he kissed me before running off to class. Luisa looked at me, stunned.
Oh my god, how did the hottest guy in school end up with you?
Why? What's wrong with me?
Everything! You're boring! You dress like a granny and you have a broken leg.
You're just a very ugly person inside and out, Luisa.
I'm going to steal him from you. Watch and see.
I wasn't threatened by my stupid sister. After school, when Maui walked me out to the gate, Luisa ran after us and slipped her number into his pocket. Before I could say anything, Maui spoke up.
Luisa, what's wrong with you? I'm with your sister, and I'm crazy about her. Please, just stay away from me.
I smiled widely as Louisa turned red. And just then, Sina came to pick me up. We had to wait till Mom came for Louisa, and she yelled on the phone at Mom for being late.
Hey, you can't speak to your mom that way!
Mind your own business, lady. You are not my stepmother.
Louisa was just out of control. I decided I was done with her. I completely ignored her for the next day at school, and during recess, she insulted some girls by calling them poor, and they all surrounded her, but I didn't run to her rescue.
Hey, aren't those girls hurting your sister?
Yes, but she can't control her awful mouth. Whatever happens to her, she deserves it.
Yeah, but she's still your sister.
Maui always had a way to make me think twice, so I stepped into the circle of girls and found my sister crying.
Moana, please tell them to bring back my bag.
Not until you promise to change your ways, especially how you speak to Mom.
I promise. Please, please save me from these mean girls.
It's not so nice when it's done to you, right? I told the girls to leave my sister alone, and then she joined me and Maui for lunch. And to my shock, she actually apologized for being a jerk.
I'm really sorry, Mona. I've always been mean to you and Mom because I always felt she loved you more. But today, when those girls were mean to me, I felt what it was like to be the weak one. I've hurt so many people already.
Well, it's never too late to change. Later that day, when my stepmom and Mom came to pick us up, Louisa apologized to both of them too. And then Sina told us some thrilling news. She was pregnant. Oh my God. What? I'm gonna be a big sister again.
That baby's lucky to have you, Moana.
And you, Louisa, will be the best big sisters ever.
Hi, I'm Wendy from Sweden, and my story is really crazy. But before I begin, please like and subscribe. I lived in a creepy old house with my parents. It used to belong to my grandma, who was a very odd woman. She studied mysterious races in the world and brought back crates full of strange outfits and creepy items. And most people around thought our house was haunted.
Walk faster, a ghost girl will catch you.
Just then, I leapt out from behind a bush wearing a scary mask. I was just trying to be funny, but people thought I was the weird girl who lived in the scary house, and no one wanted to be my friend. And my parents never had much time for me either because they were always working.
This old house is a money pit. I need to work 2 jobs to keep it.
Please go to your room, Wendy. I'm in a meeting.
I wanted to help out, so I started giving ghost tours of the property. When my parents were away, I loved telling made-up stories about the freaky things I'd seen around the house. I even made up a murder or 2 and sold Mom's dresses with ketchup stains as souvenirs. I made a killing on Halloween, but when Mom and Dad found out, they were furious.
What's wrong with you, Wendy? Why can't you be sweet and well-behaved like other kids?
They took all my money and I was grounded for a month. I was so lonely and wished I had a sibling to play with. Then one day, when I was 12, I got the biggest surprise of my life. I went looking for a snack in the kitchen when I found a thin, pale boy my age instead.
Who are you and what are you doing in our pantry?
I'm Felix, your brother. Didn't your parents tell you they were adopting me?
What the flip? My parents had adopted a whole human and hadn't even bothered to tell me.
Typical!
I don't believe you. What proof do you have?
He waved some official-looking papers in my face. They looked legit.
My parents might have adopted you, but you still need to pass a few tests if you want to be my brother.
Bring it on!
We stood on our heads to see who could do it the longest, ate the worst carrot for lunch. And for the final task, we caught the fattest, slimiest fish and balanced them on our heads while we stood on one leg on the fence. Felix was great at it all.
Congratulations! You are officially my brother!
I was over the moon to finally have someone to play with, but my parents had to ruin that too.
You can't play with Felix anymore.
Why not? Didn't you adopt him so I'd have company? We've decided it isn't a good idea. You can't play with him, and that's that. But why?
Because we said so and we're sending him away.
It was so unfair.
I felt angrier than I'd ever felt before, and I smashed the toy I was playing with into the wall. But suddenly I felt dizzy, and moments later, I blacked out. When I opened my eyes, I was in a hospital bed with a bald doctor and my worried-looking parents next to me.
Wendy's blood pressure shot up suddenly and she fainted. She's fine for now, but try to keep her as calm as possible. I'd also suggest you homeschool her for now.
Mom and Dad took me home. They were being very nice to me, which was suspicious. Now they said I could play with Felix as much as I wanted, but when I ran to his room to tell him the good news, he was glaring at me angrily.
What's wrong? Aren't you happy we can be friends again?
Friends? I just found out that your parents did not adopt me because they wanted to love me or give me a nice home. They just brought me here for you, like I'm some kind of toy. And they might just send me away at any time. I hate you, and I'm gonna make your parents hate you too. They'll realize they're better off having me as a kid. Trust me, I'm not going anywhere.
Felix, don't be like that. I've always wanted a brother.
I'm not your brother.
I was both angry and heartbroken by his changed attitude. But I hoped he'd change over time, but it was the complete opposite. Felix kept messing with my parents. He dropped the pearl earrings I borrowed from Mum down the drain, smashed Dad's laptop, and put dye in their body wash. They had shocking pink skin for weeks. And somehow my parents were always upset with me and thought I was acting out. They never seemed convinced when I said it was all Felix. Was he really turning my parents against me?
Stop being a jerk. These things cost money, and Mom and Dad work really hard, and stop making them think I'm doing all this.
Then just give up and go away yourself. There's only space for one of us here.
I'm not going anywhere, pal.
But then, the most terrible thing happened. A few days after my 13th birthday, we were visited by some people from the museum. They wanted to use Grandma's outfits and creepy items for a display, and they said they'd pay us a lot of money if we allowed them to borrow it for a few weeks. Mom and Dad were over the moon that the dirty junk around the house was worth something.
We can buy a new car and replace the laptop Wendy trashed.
We can pay off the mortgage and finally be debt-free.
This could change our lives for the better. But minutes before the people from the museum arrived to collect the things, I heard a huge crash from the basement. I went running to see all the things smashed and broken on the floor. And Felix standing in the middle with a stick!
Oops! I'm so sorry, I was just looking at them.
This time he had gone too far. I slapped him hard!
You did that on purpose, you jerk!
Just then, my parents came running in and looked at the mess in horror, and then they looked at me like I was the crazy one.
Why are you looking at me like I did this? He's ruined everything, and you're still gonna have him around. Why don't you send him away? You want us to send your brother away? You got so upset before. I was wrong about him, okay? He's not my brother. He's crazy, and he's dangerous.
Mom and Dad exchanged a weird long glance and nodded.
Fine. We'll send him to a special facility so he can get better.
That night, I locked my door, but I could still hear Felix screaming and crying in his room. The next day, he was gone. Mum and Dad looked sad and broken. They tried to be nice to me, but I saw right through them. They were sad because Felix had left, and I could never make them happy. In the fall, the doctor said it would be good for me to restart regular high school. Things were going really well on my first day until...
Hey, watch out! It's a ghost girl! I'm so scared!
Dude, grow up!
That wasn't all. In my very first class, I met the most bonkers girl.
I heard you were the ghost girl.
What's it to you?
I'm Tara. I just moved here from Ireland. Is it true your house is haunted? I'd love to meet a real-life ghost. I've dreamed of it my whole life.
Are you nuts? Who has creepy dreams like that?
You haven't read Dead Love Doesn't Die. It's the most romantic book ever. Are there handsome ghosts in your house? Are they single?
Girl, you need help!
No! I need a ghostly boyfriend with ice-cold lips and dreamy eyes who can transport me to his time and give me 1,000,000 ghostly kisses. And he'll
Was
take
there
me
something
away
wrong
to-
with me? First Felix and now Tara? Was I a weirdo magnet? For the next few weeks, she stuck to me like glue. At first, I acted indifferent because I wasn't sure she'd even stick around for too long. But she did. And I slowly started to enjoy having a friend.
Ha! Look, there's Ghost Girl and her vampire girlfriend! What, in the twilight?
Tara hissed and bit the jerk on his arm.
You're absolutely crazy.
Hey, no one messes with my friend. Yuck! He tasted disgusting. Let's go get candy.
How about I make you a sandwich at my place?
You mean it?
Tara instantly fell in love with the place.
This place is fantastic. Can you imagine the paranormal romances that could take place here?
I just laughed and went to the kitchen to get the sandwiches, but there was already someone in there.
Felix, what are you doing here?
I'm back. Of course, Mom and Dad didn't tell you. You would have forced them to keep me away.
It would be for their own good after the mess you made last time. What kind of facility allows home visits?
Ha! I'm not at a facility. They sent me on vacation to Bali to prove how much they loved me and wanted me in the family. I'm back now, and I'll make sure you end up in the facility soon.
I couldn't believe this was happening. I made some excuse and sent Tara home before Felix did something to her. When my parents got home, I confronted them.
You lied to me. He's dangerous and out to get me, but you still allowed him in our home.
Mom started to cry, and Dad glared at me.
You're upsetting your mother, Wendy. How long will this go on?
You don't even care that I'm upset too? You guys are the most selfish parents ever. I'm going to stay at my friend's house because I don't feel safe here.
You can't leave. We should call the doctor. I told you we shouldn't have sent her back to school.
Dad locked me in my room. I could hear Felix laughing under my door. He was evil. I had to get out of here. I called Tara and told her what was up. Within minutes, she was outside my window.
Come on, Ghost Girl, let's get you to safety!
Tara's house was so normal. It was awesome. She pulled out a mattress for me to sleep in her room, then brushed my hair to calm me down as I told her everything.
Wow, your parents sound like a piece of work. And I finally get why you're so weird about being friends.
I can't trust anyone. My parents ignored me for so long and thought things would be different for me once Felix came. But he's the worst, and ever since he came, my parents treat me like I'm some lunatic. When he's the crazy one, he really scares me.
Don't worry, you're safe here. I'll punch his lights out if he tries to mess with you.
Suddenly I heard a loud tap on the window and he was standing outside. I screamed and jumped up.
It's him! Felix is here!
He was holding rocks in his hand and wore the evilest grin.
Where? I don't see anything.
Felix threw the first rock. It slammed against the window hard, leaving a deep crack.
Are you blind? He's right there!
Wendy, are you sure you don't, see ghosts or something? Because I can't see anyone.
Didn't you hear the rock hit the window? Look, it's left a crack!
What are you talking about?
What?
Why was Tara suddenly lying to me? Suddenly the door slammed open and my parents were standing there looking worried.
How did you find me? Did you tell them I was here? Tara, I thought you were my friend. No, Wendy. Tara didn't tell us. We saw you sneaking out of the house and followed you. Let's go home. No, you're just going to lock me up in my room again. What's going on? Tara says she can't see Felix. Is she lying or am I crazy?
The saddest look crossed my mom's face, and she broke down crying and hugged me.
No, Wendy, you're not crazy.
That's when they told me how they'd never adopted a boy named Felix.
We thought he was just a harmless, imaginary friend. But when you started seeing him all the time, we tried to stop it by saying we'd send him away.
The doctor said you had created Felix to help with your feelings of being alone, and we should play along, so we agreed. But then you started acting out and blaming it on Felix.
We were so glad when you finally sent him away yourself. We thought things were going to be okay now. But then you said you saw him again, and
We just can't see you like this, sweetie, and it's all our fault. We should have given you more time when you were a kid.
I was in utter shock.
So everything Felix did, the earrings, the laptop, the items.
It was all you, but we weren't mad about any of it. We were just worried about you.
But if Felix was the friend I made up, why was he suddenly so mean to me? Your doctor said you suffered from low self-esteem. In your mind, no one wants to be friends with you for long. Are you real? Can you guys see Tara?
I could pinch you!
Ouch. Okay, you're real.
Don't worry, dear. We talked to your doctor, and he says we can start therapy sessions now. You'll be fine.
And we'll be with you all the way.
Me too!
They all took me in a big bear hug, and suddenly I didn't feel alone at all.
Hi, I'm Joy. I live in Sunny. Yep, Sunny. She was born into a pretty normal family in a small town in Texas, along with her little bro, Henry, who's 2 years younger than her. Even though they weren't rich, Sunny and Henry grew up with all the love from both their mom and dad.
I got the toy you guys like.
Of course, we couldn't forget the cake for you two.
So I'm the only one who has to work in the ECR. Things changed when Sunny was 9. Her dad's company ran into trouble and he got laid off. Her family hit some tough times and her parents kept arguing. The only bright spot was Henry. He was super smart and always got straight A's, totally the opposite of Sunny. To keep holding on to hope, her parents had to make a tough decision.
I'm sorry, Sunny, but we can't afford to keep both of you in school anymore. You know, your dad still hasn't been able to find a new job.
What? Mom, what do you mean?
Sweetie, we want to save up so Henry can have the best opportunities. He's incredibly smart, and we're sure he'll make our family proud one day.
And it's anger, sadness, fear, and anxiety all taking control of her for the first time.
Why? Mom, Dad, I'm your child too. I'll do my best.
We have no other choice, Sunny. Please try to understand.
I'll have to leave my friends. No way, that's so unfair. You two are so cruel.
You're so ungrateful. Go back to your room right now.
No, you guys can't do this. Her parents didn't do anything wrong.
You don't get it at all. It means Sunny can't go to school like other kids.
We can't meet her bestie.
No, the haters are gonna call us uneducated losers.
And that night, Sunny locked herself in her room and cried alone. It was the first big shock she had to face. Obviously, I couldn't force her to be joyful or happy in that situation. When it rains, it pours. Everything got worse. Mom and Dad were constantly busy and often away from home, leaving Sunny to handle all the household chores on her own. Meanwhile, Henry became increasingly arrogant and started looking down on his sister.
Hey, servant, let's clean my room. The last time you did it was a week ago.
Hey, what the heck did you just say? I'm your sis. Take your butt back to your stupid room and clean it up.
You?
As Sunny was about to throw the pan in her hand straight at Henry's face, I took action. Stop. Anger, don't do that. Sunny isn't like that. She needs to listen to her parents.
Okay, I'll clean up your room for you. But next time, watch how you talk to me.
And so began Sunny's days of reluctantly giving in to Henry. She didn't complain at all and did everything her parents asked. In her free time, she would go online to study. Oh, my Sunny, she truly is such a good kid. A few years later, when Sunny's parents' jobs were more stable, she finally got to go back to school. Sunny's body also went through some changes. Well, actually a lot of changes.
Oh no, why does Sunny have so many pimples on her face? What can we do to help with this?
How you look is really important on the first day of school.
Calm down, everyone. My girl has reached puberty, and that's completely normal.
How did you know that?
Well, I just received this book from the Minister of Growth.
Oh, things you need to know about puberty. Sounds interesting, huh?
Ah, my face!
Everybody, this is Sunny.
Welcome to our room. You're lucky. Our class is the most fun class in the school.
Your hair looks so gorgeous.
Wow, they are so friendly. But the biggest twist happened right when recess started.
Hey, new kid, you'd better pay up if you want to stay out of trouble.
Trouble? What do you mean?
Oh, what a naive girl. Let me show you an example.
After saying that, one of Stella's minions threw a cockroach into her backpack.
Ah! Hands! Quick, cover up all the holes so this scary creature doesn't invade.
Oh, your hair looks great. Combined with your pizza face, you look like a witch.
Hey, shut your stupid mouth up!
Hide your stupid face well before I slap you hard right on it.
At that moment, fear and anxiety joined forces to hold anger back.
Stop! We can't fight against them!
Why is our first day at school like this?
We can solve this the way we handled things with Henry. And Sunny walked away, crying the entire way home.
Sunny, why are you here? Aren't you supposed to be at school?
They put a cockroach in my backpack and said I'm ugly.
Oh, Sunny, how old are you? 12. And yet you still act like such a child.
But
Stop talking and get to school. I'm very busy, so don't waste my time and money.
In the following days, Stella and her squad kept bullying Sunny. They hid toilet paper when Sunny used the bathroom, stole her notebook causing her to get scolded by the teacher, and secretly added chili to Sunny's lunch. Of course, the girl had no choice but to endure. Henry was getting more and more spoiled, while her parents ignored her pleas for help. They were only concerned with their work, indulging Henry, and dealing with the problems he created. Every night, Sunny could only lie in her room and cry.
We need to find a way to help her!
I can't take it anymore. Please do something, Joy!
I don't know what to do either. We can't be sure that what we do won't make things worse.
Why are their parents so nice to Henry but not to my girl? Why aren't the bullies getting pimples?
Sunny's mind was filled with endless thoughts, but none of them were useful in this situation. A few days later, while Sunny was sitting and eating lunch, a nerd came over and sat next to her.
Who are you?
I'm Lucas. I'm in the class next door.
You know me?
Everyone knows you're the new target of Stella's squad, right?
Yeah, I'm embarrassed about becoming famous in that way.
Lucas is actually also a bullied kid. They gossip about Stella together. Contrary to his appearance, Lucas is very humorous, and Sunny can't help but laugh at his jokes.
Hey, do you know why the hare lost the race to the tortoise? It's because the hare got its teeth stuck in a carrot by the side of the road.
Oh, look at Sunny smiling.
I don't remember the last time it was. Lucas and Sunny became best friends. They hung out together, talked together, and even got bullied together. See, everything is getting better. We found a teammate.
That's the weirdest team-up I've ever seen.
I thought things would get easier from now on, but one night, when her parents were working the night shift, Sunny discovered someone sneaking into their room.
Henry, what are you doing there?
Sunny watched silently as Henry stealthily opened the drawer, quickly took the money and watch, and stuffed them into his pocket.
Henry, you're the thief! Mom's been complaining about the money disappearing all the time, and now it turns out it's you who's been taking it!
In the blink of an eye, Henry had jumped out the window.
Haha, finally we can get our revenge on this punk!
Sunny, quickly call your parents!
Soon after, her parents arrived home, but to everyone's surprise, Henry was right behind them.
Henry spilled the beans. You're the one who took money from my room and tried to pin it on him.
What? What are you talking about, Mom? He's the one who actually did it.
You don't have any proof, but I do. I found the money in your drawer and the rest is still there.
Sunny was stunned when Henry pulled open her drawer.
Oh, it's my watch!
Why are they here? I don't know anything, Mom, Dad!
What should we do?
They won't believe us, no way.
This has to be that jerk's trick.
Sunny rushed toward Henry, but her parents managed to stop her in time.
Stop! What more trouble are you going to cause? We sent you to school, but you're acting like you didn't learn anything. Choosing Henry was the right call.
Her emotional bar is hitting rock bottom. We need to do something.
Lucas, call Lucas!
I'm broken!
Calm down, where are you? I'll be right there.
Shortly after, Lucas showed up and Sunny, crying, told him everything that had happened.
That's rough, but at least we know Henry is the culprit.
Knowing that is useless. My parents definitely won't believe me. In their eyes, I'm just a black sheep.
Why bother explaining? We'll get Lucas to confess. Just do as I say.
Sunny went home with Lucas's plan in mind.
Mom, Dad, I'm so sorry. I took the money and tried to frame Henry. Please forgive me this time.
Sunny's confession even left Henry speechless. Her parents forgave her for admitting the truth, but punished her by making her do more chores.
Do you think that kid's plan actually worked?
I'm not so sure, but at least it helped us stay here.
In the days that followed, everything returned to normal, including Henry's usual arrogance and bad behavior. Just as Lucas predicted, her parents started being more cautious with their money, which drove Henry insane.
Hey, you don't know where Mom and Dad keep their stuff, but I do.
You think I'm a moron? And to Mom and Dad, you're just a servant now. There's no way they'll ever tell you.
Whatever. It's your call now. Keep looking.
Henry's eyes were full of suspicion. Then, Sunny pretended to enter her parents' room and open the cabinet as if she was hiding something. Of course, Sunny knew that Henry was secretly watching her. A few days later, the act came to an end. When their parents left for work, Sunny pretended to go out for studying. Henry immediately turned off the camera system to sneak into his parents' room.
How strange. Why is there nothing here?
Suddenly, the lights flashed on, and there were Sunny, Lucas, and their parents right by the door.
Oh, good evening, Henry.
You've truly let us down.
No, Mom, Dad, I thought you were at work. I was deceived. Sunny, you truly are a snake.
Sunny called us, offering to help recover the stolen property and asking us to come home. We truly couldn't believe our eyes.
Ha ha ha! That punk finally got what he deserved!
It's party time!
Since then, our parents stopped spoiling Henry, but they still didn't pay much attention to Sunny, which left us feeling extremely disappointed.
Why do they still not treat me well?
That's just how you feel. It's because you're expecting too much attention from others.
That's not true. Clearly they love Henry more. They chose to let him continue his education.
Maybe that was the only choice they had at the time. The adult world is really tough, and they face a lot of pressure, which can sometimes make them seem indifferent. My mum used to say that, and I think you'll understand your parents better as time goes on.
I've always wondered why you're so optimistic. You've been bullied too, and you don't even have a dad.
Because I have more than just joy, anger, sadness, and fear. My mum taught me about hope. It helps me always believe that things will get better. Don't suppress your emotions too much. Just be yourself.
Joy, do you think what the kid said is true? Have you ever heard of hope?
It seems like I've been overthinking things before taking action.
I shouldn't be imagining problems that aren't even there.
Perhaps our timid decisions have caused Sunny to suffer. From the beginning, we made a mistake by making Sunny give in to Henry, face her parents, and not stand up to the bullies. Hey, Anger, I've got a task for you! The next morning, Sunny slapped Stella right in the face, shocking everyone.
Haha, this is something I've wanted to do for a long time. From now on, keep your mouth shut and stop your mischief. I'm proud of my hair and I love my pimples.
At the same time, we've shattered the personality egg.
Be yourself, my girl, no matter what happens!
Hi, my name is Luna, aka the Vampire Girl, and it's all because I had the meanest parents. But before I continue, please like and subscribe. I grew up in a normal family in a small town in the Netherlands. But as I got older, I realized that my parents were not just normal. They were actually weirdos. I had never seen them leave the house, like going out for work or buying supplies. What was most annoying was that they often whispered to each other about something extremely mysterious. You might wonder how we could survive. Well, a box of supplies would mysteriously arrive every week, and I had never seen the delivery man. Every day, Dad would spend hours reading the newspaper and circling stuff on it with a red marker. Once, when I was 3, I was trying to warn my dad that there was a spider about to crawl over his breakfast, but he kept ignoring me, so I leapt onto the table and put my foot in his bowl, spilling it all over his newspaper, and Dad went bonkers.
Oh my god, do you realize what you've done?
Spider, spider!
You're just Spider, idiot! Just leave me alone!
Mom, hug! Hug! You, stay away from me! Didn't I buy you a bunch of stuffed animals? Go back to your room and hug them.
Gosh, I wished I could just leave them forever. They didn't even love me. We never had any visitors, but my grandma. But when I was 5, Grandma came to see us once and she brought me an adorable cat. I was so happy. A rare creature is about to live in my house. But of course my parents are just being themselves.
We already have Luna. It's hard enough to take care of her. No, just take it back, please, Mom.
No freaking way! I ran up to my room with the cat and slammed the door shut. But when I woke up in the morning, my cat had flown away, even though it didn't have wings. I looked all over the house. Nothing. I just knew my parents had gotten rid of it. I screamed and cried, but they said they didn't know anything. Liars! I made a bold decision to run outside and search for my kitten. This was the first time I was breaking my family's rules. But that didn't matter anymore, because I had decided I was never going back to this house. It was a really sunny day, and as I kept running, my skin suddenly started turning really red and itchy. Oh, my body's getting scorched by the sun! I let out one huge scream and fainted. When I woke up, I was lying on my bed. In the room were the doctor and my parents. The doctor said I had a rare condition and advised my parents to absolutely prevent me from any exposure to sunlight.
See? That's what happens when you don't take our advice.
No, that's not true. That can't be right. My parents might be weird, but doctors aren't. Besides, the sun almost killed me, and I never want to go through that horrible feeling again. So after that, I refused to let a single ray of sunlight touch my body, not even indoors. I covered myself from tip to toe, socks, trek pants, hoodie, and a face mask. Only my eyes were visible. The weirdest people like my parents almost fainted when they first saw me running around the house like a little ninja. From nightfall is when I felt safe to remove my costume. I never go outside during the day because I think the outfit isn't thick enough. I even insisted on being homeschooled. But when I turned 15, my parents decided to let me attend regular school. Are you serious? Do you want me to die? I'm allergic to the sun, you know.
I'm fed up with that ninja outfit. After all these years, your condition is probably completely healed by now.
I'd rather jump off a cliff than listen to you.
If you keep behaving this way, I swear I'll send you to your aunt's place in Norway. There's only sunlight there for 6 months.
Gosh, they were unbelievable, and they thought I didn't know about their plan. Fine, but don't think I won't wear this costume to school. I will! It's been years since you last walked in the sun. I can feel the heat slowly getting inside. And when people say you're weirdos for dressing me up like this, just know that you asked for it. I joined school in the 10th grade, and the minute I entered the classroom, everybody started laughing and whispering things like weirdo and freak. I chose the seat farthest from the window and kept my mask on all the time. In lunch break, I waited for everyone to leave the cafeteria before I went in, but suddenly a girl came up and slapped me on the shoulder. It was Jessie.
Luna, right? I'm just curious, why are you dressed like a garbage bag?
I'm ugly. I don't want everyone to laugh at me. She started laughing and just left. I knew that if I said I was allergic to the sun, I would definitely get into trouble. Soon enough, I discovered she was the meanest girl around and would pick on me every chance she got, throwing snakes into my backpack, hiding all the toilet paper when I used the restroom. Another day, I solved a math problem on the board, and as I was returning to my seat, I slipped on some water and fell on the floor.
That's where your place is anyway, weirdo!
I ignored Jessie's stupid pranks, but one day she went too far. I was standing in the shade enjoying a baseball game, when suddenly Jessie came out and snatched my mask. I lost my balance and fell off the bleachers. I quickly pulled my hoodie over my face. "You're a crazy freak!" I snapped at Jessie and bit down hard on her hand. Jessie let out a pained scream.
Ah, help! Let me go! You sun-phobic vampire!
And that's how I got my name, Vampire Girl. I could hear people calling me a monster, but I didn't care. At least the bullies were a little scared of me now. A few days later, a new kid joined our class named Luca. His outfit had a bit of a medieval vibe, which made Jessie and her minions laugh uncontrollably when they saw him. They'd found their new target. I joined him in the cafeteria at lunch that day and we started talking. I found out that he was the new janitor's son. He was really sweet and never even said I was crazy when I told him about my condition. I was so happy to have made a friend. But one day, as I was walking down the hallway, I found Jessie and her friends surrounding Luca. She threw the cake on the floor and arrogantly said,
Oops! You can clean this up, Luca. I mean, you'll grow up to be a janitor like your dad, right? Come on, just sit down and wipe it with your butt.
"Hey jerk, stop it! Didn't you promise last time that you wouldn't bully him anymore? Looks like that bite was too gentle, huh? I'll make sure it's way worse this time if you don't get out of here immediately." Jessie rolled her eyes at me, but when I leapt forward, she actually screamed and went running. Luca thanked me, and I always made sure to stick close to him after that. But then, one day, Luca and I had just entered the classroom after recess when Jessie started screaming like crazy.
OMG, my brand new iPhone! It's gone! Someone stole it!
And then she pounced on Luca and grabbed him by his shirt.
You must have done it, you little janitor! You beggar, you thief! Where is it?
Hey, knock it off you! You have no proof!
I'll get the proof, girl!
She snatched his bag and started throwing out all his things. I grabbed her hair and she turned around and attacked me. We got into a huge fight and just then the principal walked in. Jessie screamed, insisting that Luca was the culprit and that he had hidden the loot inside his locker. Of course, the principal found nothing there. However, Luca was left humiliated in front of everyone. He seemed very upset, with his face down on the desk. I caught up with him after school. "Hey Luca, are you okay? Jessie is such a witch. I hate rich people. They always look down on us like we're not even human."
Maybe she called me a thief just because I'm poor. Maybe we don't belong here.
"Luca, wait!" And he just walked away. He didn't come to school the next day and his dad was nowhere to be seen either. A week passed and there was still no sign of them. I felt worried, but I didn't know where he lived. But then I remembered Luca talking about how his dad also worked at a restaurant in the evening, so I decided to go talk to him. As I was walking down the street one night without my mask or hoodie, I saw a masked guy running towards me, and suddenly he started snatching my bag as I tried to get away. I lunged at his face and pulled his mask off, and I nearly fell back in shock. It was Luca. But before I could say anything, he ran away. I couldn't believe my eyes. What's going on? Luca really is a thief. Jessie was right. I felt betrayed. What I didn't expect was that Luca showed up at school 2 days later, but I just ignored him. But when he kept following me and asking me what was wrong, I suddenly lost it. "I'll tell you! The girl you robbed the other night on the street, that was me!" He looked horrified.
You, I didn't know. I've never seen your face.
"Whether it's me or not doesn't matter. The real issue is that you're a liar and a thief. I really made a mistake trusting and fighting for you." Suddenly he started weeping like a baby.
I didn't want to steal. Luna, but I just had no choice. My dad's in the hospital. We needed the money. I'm so sorry, but I swear I didn't steal Jessie's phone. I've never stolen anything until that night.
He kept crying and my heart went out to him. "I'm sorry about your dad. Why didn't you tell me and everyone?" Let me help you now, but promise me you'll never steal anything again.
I don't want to bother you. I don't want everyone to see me as poor or suspect me of stealing.
Don't worry about that, Luca. People are better than you think. I immediately went to talk to the school principal. Together, we planned a fundraiser for Luca's dad. Within a day, we raised all the money Luca needed for his dad's treatments and even more. The biggest donors were Jesse's parents. They kept praising me at the fundraiser for arranging the event, and this made Jesse even angrier.
Don't let it get to your head, Luna. You're still a freak and you could never be me.
As if I want to be. What's so special about you anyway, other than being super dumb?
Excuse you. I've been prom queen for the last 2 years. You could never.
Oh, that's cool, but things changed once I got involved.
Haha, seriously, it's prom, not some freak Halloween show. You'll never beat me, stupid vampire.
Luca whispered into my ear.
Don't argue with the girl who hasn't even seen your face!
I bought a beautiful dress for prom since it's tonight. It was the first time anyone in school would be seeing me without my mask and hoodie. As soon as I entered the hall, I saw people turning around and asking each other who I was. Just then, Luca came to me and took my arm.
Luna, you're so gorgeous today.
That's Luna, the vampire girl. I can't believe it was that face behind that mask all this time. She's gorgeous.
Jessie looked furious when she saw everyone's attention was on me, and to my shock, I was actually voted as that year's prom queen. As I was being crowned, suddenly Jessie came charging at me on the stage, trying to rip the crown off my head. But then something strange happened. The bullies who used to pick on me saved me. They all stopped Jessie and took her away.
Hey, don't lay a finger on her, old prom queen.
That was amazing. Things at school started getting better. Everyone was super nice to me now. Luca was tutoring kids after school and his dad came back to work. Soon, nobody paid any attention to Jessie and her gang anymore, and all they could do was give me death glares. But one day after gym class, I was quickly changing in the dark locker room when suddenly Jessie and her minions barged in. One of them quickly grabbed my hoodie while the others grabbed me by my hands and legs and started carrying me outside. Stop! Don't do that! Let me go! The more I screamed, the tighter they held on to me. Soon after, they dragged me out into the sun and pinned me to the ground.
Heck, you lied to me. You're not ugly, so you must be a vampire. I hope you melt and disappear. Haha.
Suddenly, someone pushed the girls away. It was a teacher and Luca. While the teacher dragged the bullies off to the principal, Luca quickly took me inside as I cried like crazy.
You're okay now? And your skin, it looks totally fine. It's not even red. Luna, does it hurt or burn?
I looked all over my arms and realized he was right. There were no rashes and it didn't itch or burn at all. Was my condition gone for good? Or had it just been all in my head? When I went back home that day, my parents were shocked to see me.
Luna, where's your hoodie and your mask?
I threw them all away. Mom, Dad, I was out in the sun and nothing happened to me. Maybe I'm cured. Unexpectedly, my parents hugged me tightly, and what they said next was truly like a bolt from the blue.
Sweetheart, it was all just a lie. You don't have any problem at all.
But the doctor?
The doctor was fake, too. Actually, you were just having a normal reaction to sunlight because you rarely went outside. He said what we wanted him to say to protect you.
Protect? No way! I never believed you guys because you hated me and wanted to get rid of me. You even got rid of my cat.
No, we didn't, sweetheart. It just ran away. And we never hated you. When you were growing up, your mother and I were working as undercover government agents. Our actions and work might have made you feel ignored.
What?
Moreover, we didn't want the enemy to discover our identities. That's why we had you wear a mask and hoodie when going outside.
What? My parents were secret agents. That was the last thing I'd ever expected. But suddenly their weird behavior made sense. I wish you'd told me sooner. I could have kept everything a secret.
Just the two of us enduring was more than enough. We always wanted you to live comfortably and not have to worry. We're sorry, Luna.
We should have been better parents to you. We love you so much.
I love you too, guys. Hello, I'm Lelia, and I have the scariest story to tell you. But first, please like and subscribe. I was adopted by my grandmother when I was 8 years old. She always had the best stories and baked fresh chocolate chip cookies every day. She loved me dearly, and life went on until one day she went out, was hit by a passing car, and died on the spot. She left me with an endless sadness. Sometime later, I was sent to live with my wealthy uncle. He was a businessman, and with him, I had quite a good time. But shortly after that, my uncle's business began to have problems. He went bankrupt and then lost his home. So I was moved to my aunt's house. She was great and even had a very cute cat. The three of us were happy together. Well, until the cat was also hit by a car and didn't make it. After facing 2 consecutive shocks, my aunt fell ill, then fled to Paris to heal her broken heart, leaving me without any relatives. I ended up in an orphanage. It wasn't too bad there, but I couldn't even make friends with anyone. But then, they all got adopted, and I was the only one left behind.
Don't be disheartened, Lelia. I'm sure there's a perfectly good family waiting for you out there.
With my luck, I really doubt it.
I'd believed that I was just an unlucky person, destined to be lonely. And as time went by, my hope of finding a family also faded away. But then, a week after my 18th birthday, something unexpected happened. The warden called me into the office and told me that a family wanted to adopt me, and that I had to go to their house that very night. I found it strange because the family hadn't even met me. But the warden said they had reviewed my profile and made their decision. As I packed my things to leave, my heart filled with joy at the thought of having a family of my own. But when I arrived at the provided address, my heart sank. It hurt. It was a rundown inn located next to a cemetery. The gates were tall and rusty, the windows large and cracked, and the walls covered in mold. The place looked absolutely terrifying. Just then, the front door creaked open, and a woman stepped out, looking like she was dressed up for a Halloween party.
Hello. You must be Lillian. I'm Mrs. Edwards. I'm sorry we couldn't come to pick you up. My husband and I had a little emergency.
That's okay, it wasn't.
Shh. Do you smell that? Looks like it's going to rain any second. Why don't you get your stuff inside and I'll show you around? Oh, did I say how happy I am to see you? I would smile, but I have this condition where my face muscles don't flex the same way anymore. Come now.
Ms. Edwards led me inside the house just seconds before the sky opened up and rain poured down heavily. She gave me a tour of the inn, and the inside was just as creepy as the outside. Then we went into the living room, where I met her husband, who looked just as strange as she did. And then, just as I was about to sit down at the dining table, a girl suddenly appeared out of nowhere and pushed me aside.
You can't sit here, you ugly toad!
Why not? It's empty.
Don't talk back to me! My house! My rules!
Ivy, can you please calm down? Ilya, why don't you sit next to me, dear? Now, Ivy, greet your sister nicely. We must make her feel welcome.
She is not welcome, and she is not my sister!
Ivy was extremely angry and ran back to her room, slamming the door shut. Mrs. Edwards could only sigh, and Mr. Edwards just shook his head apologetically. After that, she led me to my room, which had a view of the cursed cemetery. I was terrified. I couldn't sleep at all. Eventually, I got up to get a glass of water. But I still saw Ivy and her parents in the living room. I stopped and listened to their conversation.
What's the matter with you? Lelia must have felt so bad and unwelcome.
And how do you think I feel about this stranger living in my house?
We thought it would be nice for you to have some company.
I told you 100 times, I don't need company. I just want her gone.
I left there feeling sad. I still couldn't escape my unlucky fate. No matter where I went, I wasn't welcomed. The next morning, I was quite ready to return to the orphanage, but instead, Mrs. Edwards told me she would enroll me in Ivy's school. I thought I would take this opportunity to connect with her, but she was as cold as ice. Even at school, I noticed that she hardly spoke to anyone and sat alone in a corner. It felt like everyone avoided Ivy, but everyone was very nice to me, especially Jean, the class beauty. I told her about being adopted by the Edwards family, and she was so shocked she froze in place.
You're living with those whack jobs? The Edwards owned all the towns, major motels, but then guests started vanishing mysteriously. Their motels closed and they left town for a couple of years and just recently came back. Rumor has it that Mrs. Edwards practiced witchcraft and sacrificed those missing guests for some ritual.
That sounds completely ridiculous. And Mrs. Edwards seems like a perfectly nice woman.
Maybe they're just rumors, but it's not hard to see that the Edwards are an odd bunch. Just be careful.
I couldn't deny the truth. They were quite strange. First of all, I didn't know what Mr. Edwards did for a living, and he seemed to never leave the house. Mrs. Edwards only went out at night to shop or run errands. When I asked why, She excused it by saying she hated crowds, and I guessed she wanted to avoid people because the Edwards family wasn't well liked in town. I wondered why they moved back here. And there was a room in the west wing of the inn that always had a big lock on it. Once, Mrs. Edwards caught me looking at it curiously, and she told me it was off limits. One night, while I was studying late in my room, I heard someone whispering outside. A few seconds later, I looked out and saw Mrs. Edwards and Ivy walking down the hallway, and I couldn't stop myself from following them. They went up a narrow spiral staircase to the rooftop, and as I watched them from a safe distance, they held hands and closed their eyes. A few minutes later, Mrs. Edwards took out a large flashlight from the bag she was carrying, and they started flashing it in a strange pattern. A cold wind blew by, making their nightgowns flutter in the breeze, and I couldn't help but think they looked like witches. When they were done, Mrs. Edwards put the flashlight down, and the two of them hugged tightly and cried.
Do you think our message went through, Mom?
I'm sure it did, honey. I left quietly before they could spot me.
I quietly left before they could notice me. It was clear they wanted to keep this a secret, but who could they be sending messages to? What if they were summoning spirits? Was living next to the dead not bad enough? The next day at school, while I was walking into the cafeteria with Jean, I saw a group of girls surrounding Ivy and throwing food at her. I wanted to run over and help her, but Jean stopped me, and then Ivy ran away from there. I followed her to the bathroom and heard her crying inside.
Ivy, I saw what happened, and you don't have to put up with this. Come with me. Well, report it to the principal.
She rushed at me with red, teary eyes.
Why do you care? It's not like you don't think I'm a weirdo just like everyone else. I'm sure you've heard all the rumors about our family. Maybe we are weird and maybe I am crazy, and that's why I'm all alone and always will be.
No, you won't. I'll be there for you if you let me. I don't care about any rumors, and I don't believe them. I like you guys, and who cares if you're a bit weird?
Ivy looked surprised, then came over and hugged me. We reported the bullies to the principal, and after that day, she started being friendlier to me, and she was really fun to be around. We went to the mall together, shopped, and went camping together. Then one day, Mrs. Edwards took us to see her favorite horror movie, and I had a great time.
Oh my God. The way you jumped out of your seat and sent popcorn flying everywhere was hilarious.
I almost peed my pants.
And dropped soda all over me. But who's counting?
Yeah, sorry about that. Mrs. Edwards.
Just call me Mom. Mom winked at me.
It had been a long time since I felt like I had a real family. A strange family, for sure, but I had a place to call home, and I was truly happy. Soon after, I even started inviting Ivy to hang out with me and Jean. And although Jean was uncomfortable being around her...
Here, I baked my very famous choco chip cookies. Why don't you try one?
Oh, sure. This is so nice. I'm gonna go and enjoy this outside while watching the flowers.
Jean got scared and left. I followed her and saw her spit out the cookie in her mouth and throw the rest into the trash.
Why did you just do that?
What if they are poisoned or have a curse on them?
Seriously?
I'm sure she wants to turn me into a toad. She keeps looking at me like she's about to break into a spell.
You sound so absurd right now. I live with her, Jean, and she's not a witch. I know she's unusual, but can you just give her a chance?
Jean was reluctant, but she eventually invited Ivy to her birthday party. The whole class was there, and we were having a great time until we heard someone scream.
My diamond necklace, it's gone. Has anyone seen it?
She continued searching the ground frantically before spotting Ivy.
You stole it, didn't you?
What? How would I?
I don't know what trick or spell you used. I just know it's you. Let her go. She didn't steal anything. I was with her the whole time. Jean, tell her.
But Jean just stood silently like a rock.
You're so spineless. We are leaving this party. Lelia, wait. No, Jean. I know you don't like Ivy, but this is way too insulting.
I took Ivy's hand, and we left. As soon as we got home, Ivy ran to her room crying, and I decided to give her some space. But that night, I went to check on her and found her bed empty. I looked everywhere and then went to the hallway with the locked room. But tonight, it wasn't locked. Feeling really curious, I tiptoed closer and gently pushed the door open to see a very feminine room in perfect condition, with Ivy sitting on the bed and a pile of things beside her.
Phone, jewelry, watches. Ivy? What's all this?
Ivy looked up at me furiously and started stuffing them all into a bag.
You have no business being here. Get out!
Not till you explain why you have a stash of things that clearly don't belong to you. A bunch of kids and teachers have been reporting things going missing from their lockers. You took them?
Shut up and go away!
I just offended you and walked out of a party because someone accused you of theft. Why would you do something so awkward?
You don't really know me or anything about my life. So don't judge me. And I said, get out!
Ivy went mad and lunged at me, hitting me. Hearing the noise, Mr. and Mrs. Edwards rushed over and pulled her away. When I told them about the stolen items, they looked horrified. They told me they would return everything to the school and then went into Ivy's room, closing the door behind them, leaving me standing there. But I tiptoed closer to Ivy's closed door and pressed my ear against it.
I know it was wrong, but I had to do something. What if Lelia reports me to the police?
Honey, also, I'll talk to the warden and see what we can do.
A warden? Like the warden at my orphanage? Oh no, they're going to send me back. Is my bad luck still haunting me? I don't want to go back there. Definitely not. So, I packed my things and ran away. I kept walking, and in a daze, a big car hit me straight on. I fell back and my head hit the ground hard. I saw my grandmother and the little kitten. Maybe I was dead. And then, I faded into darkness. When I opened my eyes, I was in a hospital, surrounded by Mrs. Edwards and Ivy.
What happened? Why am I here?
Oh, thank God you're awake. You hit your head and fell into a coma, Lily? It took us days to find you. What were you thinking, running away like that?
I heard you and Ivy the night I left, and you said that you were going to talk to the warden. I didn't want to go back to the orphanage, so I ran away before you could send me.
What? We weren't talking about the orphanage. Mom was saying she talked to the jail warden about arranging a visit. I guess I should start from the beginning.
It turned out that Ivy had a brother named James, who was 8 years older than me and currently in prison.
James got involved with a bad group of friends in college and eventually got caught in a major drug trafficking case. He was sentenced to life in prison, and he was transferred to a prison here, right across from the cemetery. So we moved back here.
And the rumors about the guests disappearing?
Just our competitors' tricks to give us a bad reputation.
And those stolen things?
We stole them because I wanted to save up to get some really good lawyers. Those who can help him may be granted leniency. Mom and Dad didn't have any money.
Also, some time ago, I saw you two on the rooftop flashing some lights.
We were sending James a birthday message using Morse code. He can see the lights from her prison window.
Why didn't any of you tell me all this?
I just hadn't felt ready to share it. I was getting there, though. You're the first person I've gotten close to since James. And even though I stole that stuff from school, I swear I didn't steal that girl's diamond necklace at the party.
We should have been honest with you, Lelia. But we get judged a lot already. And I understand if you don't want to live with us anymore. We can help you look for a better family.
No, I'm not going anywhere. I like my weird, secretive family, as long as I'm in on all the secrets, too.